Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Purpose Driven Life Sports, and I'm back here for another NBA video. So, this video I'm going to be giving you guys, a Western Conference Finals preview. So tonight is Game 1. It's going to be the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Golden State Warriors, which I actually predicted the Blazers will win the Game 7 against the Nuggets on Sunday. Everybody remembers what CJ did. CJ scored 37 points. He played excellent in Game 7. Dame Lillard wasn't as great. He only had, 13 points, only made 2 threes. He really struggled during that game. But he was excellent in other areas, as in he was a great rebounder in that game. And he was great in getting others involved. So I think his leadership was really on display, as in, I may not be scoring well, but, what makes players great is their ability to do other things. And more is what we're seeing from Damian Lillard is that he's not just a scorer. He's a great facilitator, which we've seen. And he's also able to do other things that helps lead his team to wins. And him just making sure that CJ McCollum was getting the ball, because he was just giving it to everybody on Sunday. He made sure that CJ was getting the ball and not stopping the movement. And I think that's something we got to recognize and we got to applaud Damian Lillard for. It's just great leadership and just unselfish play. I really like superstars who are unselfish, as in Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. Just players like that who don't stop ball movement, and they make sure that the guy who's hot, they get the ball instead of trying to be the guy who takes over. Because, when you go, like Damian Lillard said, when you go searching for shots instead of feeling the game out, you end up forcing stuff, then the game really doesn't go in your favor after that. So him not forcing the game, him making sure that his teammates got involved, him making sure that CJ really got the game going, made sure that he closed the game out. That's what you see as in great leadership. I say him and Stephen Curry have become two of the best leaders at the point guard position in the NBA right now. Two of the best leaders in the game. So, got to applaud them for that. CJ doing his thing. And one thing I really enjoyed about watching CJ on Sunday was he wasn't falling in love with the three-point shot like we see a lot of analytics guys do. Excuse me. And one thing I've heard a lot about is that people get really irritated with analytics because it tells you that you should be getting layups, you should forget about the mid-range, shoot threes, get to the free throw line, which is what Houston's offense is predicated on, just those three areas. Well, what makes Portland and the Warriors such a great matchup is that they utilize every area to score. They have a guy in Enes Kanter, just like the Warriors have a guy in Draymond Green, or Kevin Durant, or even an Andrew Bogut. They have guys who can post up. Don't forget Shaun Livingston as well. Guys who can post up, guys who can shoot the mid-range, but also guys who can shoot the three, make layups, and shoot free throws. So when you utilize every option to score in the offense, then you're not limiting yourself, and you're also maximizing the amount of points you can score in a game. I find it also very irritating, like everybody else, is that we need to be shooting threes, need to shoot a lot of threes. No. The mid-range is still a shot that people should be utilizing. I think a lot of what we see also is when young guys come into the league, everybody wants to stay behind the three-point line, everybody wants to shoot a three. Well, we can't all be three-point shooters. We have guys in, don't forget DeMar DeRozan as well. He's still scoring, 25 a game off the mid-range shot. He's a guy who barely takes threes. I enjoyed watching CJ McCollum get to his spot, which is anywhere in the mid-range, because he's an exceptional mid-range shooter, and just knocking down shots. To me, you're unguardable when you can not only shoot the three, but your mid-range game is also elite, which his mid-range game is also elite. It's not on the par of Kevin Durant, but I think it's like the next tier down, because Kevin Durant mid-range is kind of like Kawhi. Those two, to me, have like the best mid-range game in the NBA. Those two are in a class of their own because they just knock down shots. And then CJ is just, I think he should be mentioned in that group, actually. He's right there with them. Just guys who, when they get to their spots, it's just knocked down. I just love watching their game. And then, lastly, I really enjoyed watching Zach Collins. He's been coming off the bench and making impact plays. He's been getting rebounds. He's really showing that, like a lot of people say, and what I've seen also is that he's not afraid. He's just going out there and playing basketball. And he's a 21-year-old. He's young. And to me, his development has really come along in the last 2 years. He came out, he didn't play a lot last year, but this year, I like how Portland and Coach Terry Stotts are just giving him minutes incrementally, increasing them incrementally ever since the Nurkic injury. And the more he's played, to me, the more he's gotten better. And the more plays he's made, He's a great shooter from three-point range for his size. He's 7-footer. And he's just a great rim protector as well. He gets rebounds, like I said. So them utilizing Rodney Hood, who also comes off the bench and plays great, those two in tandem have just really helped the Blazers in terms of bench depth and bench scoring to make sure that they stay in games. Or if the Stars get off to a bad start, those guys come in and make sure the game kind of gets back to a tight game. Then the Stars come in and take over. So this Portland team actually is just so much better. And to me, they're kind of more well-rounded than the Rockets were, because the Rockets, they play, 6, 7 guys, maybe sometimes 8 guys who will come off the bench. But this team, to me, is more well-rounded because they have different guys who do different things off the bench. It's kind of like Golden State when they played in Game 6. They had different guys come off the bench and make plays. To me, in the playoffs, if you have that, then that's going to be better than playing 6 or 7 guys, because even though in the playoffs you shorten your rotation, if you have different guys in every game coming off the bench, making plays, making shots, playing great defense, you maximize yourself and your team and advancing into the later rounds of the playoffs. And on to Golden State side. We already talked about Steph Curry in the last video. We talked about him just going off, playing great basketball in the second half. To me, he's not afraid, and I think he just loves... I think he wanted the pressure that everybody was bringing on him because he wanted to prove that. They say he's not a clutch player. People say he's not built for this moment. People say he doesn't show up in the playoffs. They say he doesn't show up in the finals. He's not a clutch player. Okay, well, he put that all to bed, because you may say that's just one game. Well, this is probably one of the most important games. To me, they had to win Game 6, because Houston, they leave Game 6 with the win. They go into Oracle Arena. I'm not saying Houston. I would have still picked Golden State, but that's a tough game for Golden State to win. So I think they're probably going to play those 10 guys again, 9, 10 guys, because I think they like what all those guys brought to the table, everybody making impact plays. I really love the move of bringing Jordan Bell finally off the bench, because he's a guy who provides energy plays. I think him matching up with a Zach Collins, even though he's shorter, that's a great matchup energy-wise for Jordan Bell to match somebody like that, or to turn the energy in Golden State's favor. They played Andrew Bogut to start the game. I love that move by Golden State as well, because he's a great rim protector. He's a great rebounder. And to me, what he did well was he neutralized Clint Capella's impact early in the game, to where he wasn't getting all those offensive rebounds per se, not blocking as many shots. He was just kind of making sure that he was a big body and just making sure that Clint Capella was not getting where he wanted to be. Those lobs, they weren't there in the whole series, and he just made sure that stayed that way. I love that move too. Sean Livingston had 14 points, I think. Quinn Cook came in and played well when Steph Curry was in foul trouble. He didn't make a lot of shots. He only had 2 to 4 points, I think, but him just being a steady contributor was great for them. Andre Iguodala, 5 of 8 from three-point range, 15 points. You know what Klay did. Klay had 27, especially 21 in the first half. So, to me, Golden State has to keep playing this ball movement way, and this is going to help them, because think about when Kevin Durant comes back. If he's off the floor, I think them establishing a point of where we're moving the ball without Kevin Durant, even if he's not in the series or on the floor, then their offense can stay in a flow. Because, to me, when he comes back, they're probably going to go back to him doing isolation plays, Steph Curry playing off ball a lot. But imagine when Steph Curry's on the floor and Kevin Durant's off the floor. If they can establish this right now and get this going while he's out, then him coming back doesn't really give them a burden. I think this is actually a blessing in disguise. It came at the right time, because if you start against Houston, even though I say Portland is more well-rounded, Houston is the better team. But just remember, like I said, Portland is a more well-rounded team because they do more things than Houston can do. So now, for my series prediction, who do I have winning the series? I have Golden State winning, which pretty much everybody does. I have Golden State winning in 6 games. I was going to say 5. I think Portland might get a home game or 2. I don't think they'll steal in Golden State per se, but you never know. I think this could be a 2-2 series and Golden State wins the next 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a sweep or if it went 7 games, maybe even 5. This Portland team, like I said, because they're so well-rounded, they kind of play to me they're kind of like Golden State with a great backcourt. They just don't have as many pieces as Golden State, but their bench is played super well. That's why they're really in this position. There's they're just a team that's on the rise. I really like this Portland team. I love this Portland team. But I'm picking Golden State in 6. Once again, guys, for watching this video, this is my prediction on the Western Conference Finals. This is going to be a really exciting game to watch. I forgot what time the game's going to come on, but you guys can bet I will be watching that game, and I will be giving you guys a breakdown the next day about what happened, the key matchups, everything that happened in the game. So thank you guys for listening to this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.